Well, it was the script. It was so beautifully written. The dialogue, the scenes, the surprises, the turns. It was very unexpected for me. And to begin with, my character, like I remember I got this email asking me to audition for it, and the description was like caretaker, Latina, pretty. And I was like, no way, thank you very much, but that's not what I want to do with my career right now. And they kept insisting and insisting, and finally I got to read the script, and I realized how much I was about to, lose. And it just made me see that, that description didn't make justice at all to the character, because it was such a beautiful part to play. It was such a strong lead, and it was, I couldn't say no to that. And I was dying to work with Rian and everybody in the cast. It was just, it was such an incredible opportunity.
Well, Rian's a fantastic director. I mean, that's half the battle when you're picking a script. It's not so much about what's on the page. It's more about who's actually the quarterback. And Rian is a proven talent, so any opportunity to work with someone of his caliber, you got to jump at it.
I think that's the most attractive thing about the movie is his talent as a stylish writer. He's great sort of class, and he understands. He's got that wonderful black humor, which goes right through the film, which I love, of course. Well, yes, he was a sort of fascinating old curmudgeon, which I like to play, and there are many levels in the writing that help him that make him versatile. And I don't die on screen, I die off screen, which I insist is in all my contracts.
I just read it. It was funny. It was something I hadn't read something like that before, and I was just over the moon that he offered it to me. Well, just having such an amazing group of actors to work with, and everybody signing up for the tone of the movie and what it represents. So it was just one of those sort of bit of lightning in a bottle situations.
The fun part about my character is that he's a kept man. I like that part, and he is part of this wildly dysfunctional family, and he carries his weight in the dysfunction, and it was a blast to play. It was just a blast. Well, he's taken the genre and contemporized it and made it so wildly entertaining and true to the genre. You're on the edge of your seat trying to figure it out, and in the meantime you get to laugh a lot. I'm really excited because they tell me that I get a couple of big laughs and it sets the tone for the film. Who knew?
I'll take it.
This was such a fun role to play because he's unlike anyone I personally know or that I've ever had to pretend to be. So it was really interesting playing with this character, and he's super unlikable, and he's someone that I hope to never be. But so it was really fun playing with that and being someone that you're not really allowed to be, that you shouldn't be in real life, and you can kind of indulge. Yeah, it was an amazing experience, getting to know all these people and, picking their brains about movies, and just, we constantly were playing movie games and talking about film, and like Jamie and I bonded over The Godfather, and then just being able to watch them act, and it was such a great learning experience for me.
You know what, to be honest, the freshness, I think, will be in the filmmaking. The script just felt fun, and I was honestly privileged to be asked to be a member of the tribe. I was thrilled to be able to go and make the movie, and the movie itself, it's all Rian, and he's just a very talented visionary. You know, families are tricky, and I like being the favorite child. Let me just put it that way.
It was amazing. I mean, we got to shoot in this 400-year-old family home just out of Boston, and we would like shoot scenes, and then we would go and hang out in the green room. And so we ended up spending like a lot of time together over the course of 6 weeks. So gradually the dynamic between, I mean, it's always different because you're playing characters, but there was such a true dynamic and kind of rapport between all of us that when we got to do the ensemble pieces, they were so spicy and fueled just because we already had that banter and that rhythm.
Well, I think, you know, the person who day one made sure that we all stuck together was Jamie. And I don't think anybody's going to be surprised to discover that she became just the den mother and said, this isn't one of those movies where people go back to their trailers in between takes. No, we're hanging out and we're drinking coffee and we're eating snacks and we're going to have fun and we're going to make ourselves this dysfunctional family. And that was day one, and from there on out, it was that in conjunction with like everything else that Rian's always done, which is sort of create this environment where you don't want to leave. You just want to be there all day long, hanging out, having fun. Well, one of the things that's great about TIFF is that it's the best of both worlds. It's this world-renowned film festival where every mover and shaker and person in my business is here ready to, you know, make a deal and get excited. And it's also people from Toronto who were just the coolest, nicest people in the world who were, you know, film lovers. And so I'm very excited to sort of share it with everybody, but you know, I think it's a crowd pleaser. So I want to hear some laughter. I want to hear some reactions.
Well, I grew up loving Agatha Christie's books, so that's where the roots of it are for me, and also loving the movies that were made from her books, like the original Death on the Nile and Evil Under the Sun. But Agatha Christie was writing these characters, these very vibrant characters, back in, you know, the 30s and onward, and they were current back then. I wanted to do one where we take types from modern day America, also applies to Canada, and types that we're going to recognize a little bit more and put them into this kind of story and see how it floats. It was a really amazing environment. We were shooting in New England in this house, this old house, and so everyone just hung out in between takes. Nobody went back to their trailers. Everyone went down in the rec room in the basement. So you go down and it's just like, you know, all the biggest names in Hollywood sitting around a pool table trading stories about, you know, coming up in the industry. It was just like so much fun. So this movie's about a very dysfunctional family, and I, like many people, will be spending Thanksgiving with my very dysfunctional family I love dearly. And I can't imagine a better thing that we would all want to go out to see than a much more dysfunctional family than us. And it's also just, like I said before, it's a fun movie, and that's the whole idea, is you can go out and have a good time with your family.
Well, Rian is a brilliant director, but also obviously a brilliant writer. And the first contact you have as an actor is the script, which was so surprising. Each character was so perfectly drawn, complete, whole. And I just found my character hilarious. They kind of all are. They're all in a state of desperation, clawing at holding on to something that's not really theirs. But, you know, playing a Californian lifestyle guru was so much fun. And when I first spoke to Rian, we FaceTimed. I was working on something else. I was in my trailer in LA, and he was already scouting in Boston, and he just said, I think you would have a lot of fun with this. And I just had to agree, and I really did. And he's also incredibly collaborative, and because we all hung out together, it felt very relaxed, and then I felt comfortable to improvise. So there was a lot of freedom in terms of just, you know, it's a heated family situation, and there's a lot of arrows fired at each other, and that was fun to come up with that stuff.